Finland sees record high drug deaths in 2023. Fatal overdoses among people under the age 25 also reached a record level according to the Drug Policy Association. Humania päihdepolitiikkaa. Look, record high drug deaths in 2023. Finland won the title for World's Happiest Country in 2023. How? Let's look at what the news said. There were a record high 253 drug overdose deaths in 2023, while the previous year the figure was 192 according to the group. You know, it's almost double. Almost double, man. How are you winning the title for the world's happiest country with figures like these? It doesn't make sense. Why are so many so-called happy people taking drugs to the point of killing themselves? Why? Can't be happy, man. It's impossible. Under 25 too. It's so young. Why don't they take figures like this into account? Also from the news it says, according to HPP, the grim figures are a reflection that Finnish society has not provided help for the people with substance abuse issues. That is 100% true. With numbers like this, numbers do not lie. And it hasn't been providing. People have to be waiting 3 months for cases that require immediate help. How can you be the happiest country with things like this? The media is not covering this, man. So that report is highly biased. Let's look at this headline. More than 6 years old. Published in 2020. Finland also won the title for happiest country in 2020. Keep that in mind. Porvoo's drug needle disposal bin program off to a good start. You know, these people literally have garbage bins for people to dispose of the syringes that they use to inject themselves. Why would you have a specific bin for this? That's literally telling them, go and take your drugs, but make sure you put it in this bin. That is not making the problem any less worse. It's literally a motivator for people to keep taking drugs. What kind of sick, twisted concept is that? That's literally like having a place to dispose of condoms and saying that, oh, you should not have sex in public, but yet still you have all of these bins all around you to dispose of condoms. What the heck? So having bins having dedicated bins to get rid of the syringes, that's literally adding fuel to the fire. Vinki, a local resource center for intravenous drug users, aims to reduce the danger of reusing needles by providing addicts with sterile ones. Aims to reduce the danger of reusing needles by providing addicts with sterile. Am I reading this correctly? What? You are providing addicts with sterile needles? You are providing these people with fresh syringes, needles, to take drugs. How is that? Yo, you can't tell me, say, these people don't want these problems to be fixed. You can't tell me that. And how is this the happiest country? They are literally adding to the drug problem that already exists. How are you the happiest country with things like this? The happiest country in the world should have a maximum 100 people taking drugs. There should be none ideally, but let's say 100, right? What the heck, man? The center hands out 6,000 to 8,000 needles each month and get back about 6,000 needles after they've been used. Bro, what the heck? I can't even read the rest of this, man. Why would you make a bin to dispose of the instrument, man? How are you the happiest country? I just don't understand, man. Guys, make it make sense, man. It's crazy. Yes, so let's start the video. Let's go with this one. Why Finland is not the happiest country. There are actually some Finnish people nearby, so I have to kind of keep it down a little bit. They hear me talking about their country like this, they probably won't say anything, but you know what I mean? Not trying to give them any bad vibes because they probably don't understand the angle that I'm coming from. I'm not attacking anybody's country, I'm simply just stating facts, showing that the data says otherwise, even though the World Happiness Report says that it's the happiest. Yeah, so I have my tablet here with some information. I had come across a video with the title, Why Finland is not the happiest country in the world. This was from a different YouTuber, and the video, I will put the link in the description, but the video was quite long. I didn't watch the full video, but I looked in the comments out of curiosity. I found a comment from a Finnish person, and I'm going to put that on the screen right now. The comment says, "We are not the happiest country. It is a lie. We may be most content country, but that is a stretch, a long stretch. We are stubborn, but for some reason we cannot admit being unhappy of the status quo." In other words, they cannot admit something that goes contrary to their brand reputation, to the reputation of the country. He goes on to say, "What if my neighbor is happy and I ain't? I need to act happy so no one know I am. I am less than my neighbor. Also, no matter how much we were stepped on, you will never see Finnish people rise to the barricades to fight against possible injustices that are still plenty here. We just take it as it is and patter to ourselves or others over a cup of coffee, never acting on anything at all." And that is true. This is from a Finnish person. Jari Sirvio 2056. This is 100% true, right? You know, the Finnish people don't show emotions, even if they're uncomfortable or something, they don't like something, they will never show it. You have to literally try to figure it out. For example, I was in the gym the other day, I was on a machine. Alright, I was finished and I was just resting on the machine, and one lady, Finnish lady, just stand up somewhere behind me and just waiting. And I didn't even realize until about, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 minutes after, that she was waiting on my machine. She could have easily come to me and say, "Hey, are you finished?" I would have said yes, and I would have let her use the machine. But I was there resting, and she was just there sitting down because she somehow scared or doesn't want to disturb my peace or something. But it's not disturbing your peace. If you need to use the machine, just say something. Finnish people have a concept of own peace called oma rauha, which means that they shouldn't disturb someone because you might disturb their peace. But it's so, I don't know, I don't want to say, I think it's just a bit extreme, and it's good to give people their personal space, don't get me wrong, you know, but in a context like that, in the gym where you would like to use a machine but you don't want to disturb my peace, it's just it prevents you from communicating with the next person to get something that you actually need. And I was just there standing like, yo, this lady was literally waiting on me the whole time and she didn't even say anything. So this guy is literally right. Finnish people will never get up and protest about something. Most of the protesting that goes on here in Finland is done by foreigners or Finnish people with foreign background. But Finnish people, they just sit down and tolerate stuff. Nah, bruv. You can't do that. You can't just sit down and take stuff. You have to stand up and speak out. But these people, if they're happy, they don't show it. If they are happy, they also don't show it. So you cannot know. So this Finnish guy is 100% right. I'm not making this up. This is from the Finnish guy. Another comment from the news article on the Finnish website YLE. The article was about Finland becoming the happiest country 9 times, and this comment was in Finnish, so I will translate it now. So this person is saying that now would be a good time to stop this self-deceit. In Finland, more than 500,000 people eat mental health medication, and the unemployment is the highest in Europe. There are 600,000 people facing debt foreclosure. So approximately 600,000 people are in debt, and the state is controlling their assets. So they basically owe money, right? They're in serious debt. The belief of the youth in the future has diminished. Who in the world answers this survey? And is the method of doing the survey accurate? So this Finnish person is expressing how they also think that this happiness thing, or else happiest country stuff, it's self-deceit. So the people that live there are saying this about their own country. And bear in mind, I only took 2 or 3 comments from there, but there were hundreds of comments there of Finnish people saying that they don't believe that Finland is the 9th happiest country. They don't think that Finland is the happiest country. There's another comment. I'll translate it. It's very unbelievable that the country with the highest unemployment rate in Europe is at the same time also the happiest in the world. She also doesn't believe, or whoever this is, they also don't believe that you can have a high unemployment rate and be the happiest country at the same time. Another comment. This can finish already. Finland is only the happiest country for a small portion of the people. So he's basically saying that Finland is only happy for a set amount of people, so the rich people, right? The very few rich people in Finland, the millionaires. Another comment from the same YouTube video entitled "Finland is not the happiest country." This person says, I grew up in Finland and promptly eloped with an American when I met a good man. I keep telling people until I'm hoarse. Listen carefully. Their happiest place on earth claim is a blatant lie. Finns have such a visceral need and subsequent societal pressure to fit in and not stand out. True. The Finnish deep-seated Schadenfreude over people's misfortune exacerbates that desire not to stand out. What if you try something new and fail? Instant shame for you, glee for everyone else. I am very doubtful that a self-reported happiness statistic was ever truthful. A Gallup worker calling you up and asking if you are happy will never be met with a truthful answer from someone who is legitimately just in survival mode, trying to make it through the day. Admitting you are struggling is a sin as severe as a cluttered house. I remember trying to seek help for depression and inquiring if it was possible for me to have undiagnosed autism in my young adulthood, and was treated as a leper by my mother and her generation. A moonlapsi voyo lava manin, she says. She also says, I remember my repeated first aid certification courses needed at my job. How the paramedics teaching the classes all talked about repeat customers attempting suicide and eventually succeeding. The stuff that you don't talk about with foreigners, but you do talk of among friends when enough alcohol has been imbibed. The closeted alcoholism and the national sense of inadequacy don't help Finland. They get so excited if anyone abroad mentions Finland that it doesn't matter what the headline says, as long as Suomi mainittu, which means Finland has been mentioned. I am so glad I followed my heart and left. 15 years have passed. Similar culture to the rural Finland I spent my childhood summers in, but somehow the American spirit imbued this community with genuine happiness, while the Finnish spirit only mimics happiness and contentment. So this is a person who grew up in Finland, and eventually left. So I, how much more clearer can it get that there is another side of this happiness story, and it's not as black and white as it seems on the internet. The statistics say otherwise. People are saying otherwise. Here's another comment from a Finnish person. He said, I am a Finn and I participated in the happiness survey. It is not a survey about personal happiness. They ask almost nothing about personal happiness, just like your video starts. Variables contributing to this. They ask about how you see the society, equality, justice system, education, and they ask about infrastructure and freedom of press and so on. It's more like a survey about how well organized you feel your society is. And the questions are very well suited for the strong points of our society. They don't ask you, do you think the winter is too cold and dark, or do you feel everything is expensive? And I end quote.